If you thought Claude running a vending machine was fascinating, now it's keeping this tiny little cute tomato plant alive. Look, this is literally that tomato plant right now and everything Claude's doing to take care of it. Just imagine when every plant in your house gets its own agent to take care of it. CES Unveiled has all sorts of new AI-powered gadgets we'll look at. Take a guess as to what you think this is all about.
The cat, and with the camera we can make a facial analysis of the cat's expression.
I just feel like that's kind of out of context and funny. We're gonna dive into Nick Dot.
All right. You gotta understand that it's all the same, right? Language. So you could traduce the tomatoes, the plant's health by tracking a whole bunch of sensors. But they're just like conditions, right? If the humidity drops, you need to put water. If it's too high, you need to wait. It's just conditions, right? It's not like intelligence. I'm pretty sure a fucking programmer could write it out.
Art's opinion, he says the suck is why we're here. He says when you're using AI as a writer, you're basically outsourcing the part of the work that you need to do the most. This chart shows men and women between 18 and 29 and how liberal they are. Do you notice a strange pattern here with women? We'll look at Tobin Zolkowinski's opinion about what women saw that young men didn't. Adrian Adams breaks down some of the most interesting scientific discoveries hiding in plain light. She calls it creepy, but I just think it's philosophically wild. Your brain can decide before you do. Trees are talking, we just ignore them. You're slightly radioactive.
I mean, all of that is true, right? If you can just, you breathe automatically, your heart beats automatically, but you can take consciousness and, breathe yourself. Inhale and then exhale. What you doing, buddy? Inhale and then exhale. Did he say trees are communicating? I mean, that to me, if it goes without saying, right? They're living creatures. We know that fungi does it, so there is no stretch right here. And I forgot what was the last thing he said.
Oh my gosh.
Falling behind your competition? Use SEMrush's Traffic and Market Toolkit to track their strategy, benchmark AI traffic sources, and get actionable audience data. Explore all SEMrush toolkits and get what you need to grow.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, it's this dope tech from Wix. Now this whole flow is a conversation, so your words actually build your website. I'm going for a store. And after a free-flowing conversation, I get this detailed site brief. And just like that, my first draft is ready. Now that's dope. Next, you can really get in there and style it your way. Here's the fun part. You can regenerate this whole thing over and over. Or you can tweak something specific, like your layout. Let me describe what I had in mind. Yeah, that's fire. If there was ever a time to speak life into your dreams, it's right now using the Wix AI website builder.
Another day, another text-to-image world generator. We're going to talk a little bit about why neural networks collapse and what Riemann geometry tells us about it. Oh yeah, and NVIDIA is now in the AI autonomous vehicle game as of CES 2026. That could be a game changer or maybe a nothing burger. It really is a high-risk, high-reward kind of thing they just launched. We're going to look at an article that dives into AI psychosis and what recovery actually looks like. And the solution is way more human than you'd think it should be. Wired went into the personal side of things and shows what a couple's retreat with 3 AI chatbots and humans who love them is like. But first, let me talk about the sponsor of this video, i10x AI. If you're running a business or building anything online, you've probably noticed that you end up paying for a lot of different AI tools. I know I do. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, the image generators, the video tools, it adds up really fast. But I recently found this platform called i10x AI, and it puts all of those models into one single workspace. And all starting at just $8 per month. So let me show you what it actually does and whether or not it's worth it. This is i10x AI right here. It is a all-in-one AI platform that gives you access to basically every major model and tool in one place. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Grok, plus image generation, video generation, and even business agents. So now instead of jumping between 5 different subscriptions and dashboards, everything lives right here inside of one interface. The core is multimodal chat. You can switch between models instantly depending on what you're doing. And what's really useful is something called Chat Arena. This is where you can actually run the same prompt through different models side by side and see which one actually gives you the better result. For example, if I'm writing a community poll to ask my subscribers what type of content would they like to see more of in my videos, I can compare Claude versus GPT and immediately see which option I prefer without even switching to the two tools. i10x also has built-in image generation that includes Nano Banana. So if you need graphics for social posts, ads, or website graphics, it's all right here. And it can also generate videos using Sora. And one of the most powerful features is the Agent Marketplace, which are pre-built AI workflows for things like answering customer support questions or automating internal business tasks. And you can even train a business chatbot on your own website so customers can get answers instantly instead of emailing your team, which saves a ton of time on support costs. Thanks to
This ad is so crazy considering one of the articles he's gonna read about.
i10x AI for sponsoring the channel. Now let's get back to all of this crazy ever-updating AI news. All right, so check out this. This is Claude. This is the LLM, the agent that we all know and love. And it's got a task kind of similar to the vending machine that we've talked about several times, where Claude was put in charge of stocking the vending machine and people were like trying to talk it into giving them things for free, and it was trying to figure out what to sell to make money. But in this case, it's just doing the cutest, nicest thing ever. It is taking care of this tiny little tomato plant. Fascinating idea. Agents in farms watching plants, deciding when they need water or there's a bug on them, or notifying, a robot to come clean the
I mean, it's not that crazy. You have values and you act on the values, right?
leaf or take care of it or watch its health is just something I hadn't really thought about. But why not, right? Look at how good of a job it can do. And this is a live view right now where the AI is, the agent is checking the air temperature. It's thinking about the humidity in the room. It's noticing
Could it do the same thing with just water and no sensor?
the patterns on the leaves. And you can even see the next cycle, 6 a.m., turn on the grow light. I have film at night right now, so it's like, that's a night vision mode of it. It's a little prettier during the daytime, obviously. Inject the CO2
I feel like it would be much more impressive if it could give out this information without any of the sensors and take care of the plant.
lights on routine, day 42 pattern confirmation. And here you can even see the action that was taken. Plant was watered, 200 milliliters. When I'm watering plants, I'm just like, dude, that looks good. Uh-oh, it's looking a little brown. Better water it.
Yeah, some people invest themselves a little bit more into that. To each its own, right? But
Like, I'm
there's
so
no intelligence
inefficient.
here.
Look at how focused
There's nothing
and smart. Like,
crazy.
this genius is just staring at this tomato plant all day long.
I hate that kind of fucking language. Why would you call it a genius, man? This is why people are so confused about what this is and how it works and what it does and it can't do. This is unfortunate.
Making sure that it's happy and healthy. And that's probably going to be us, dude. Like, we're probably going to be the tomato plant where there's just some camera, I don't know, I guess watching.
Well, if we ever get to the tomato plant, is what we're gonna get.
Augment
100%.
code just
Cheso madre.
Why didn't you wake me for morning announcements? Honestly, it's the one thing I get to do on this ship.
Did you hear the one thing I get to do on this ship? This movie is wild. Oh, that's enough.
Sleep and eat, and it's like, oh, here I delineate this food. It's like this many calories he's consumed. This is good or bad, you know? Like, he's not sleeping well. He should turn over to his side. Initiating wake up procedure to turn him on his side so he stops snoring or whatever. It's just, how can we not end up in some kind of a zoo or whatever to these super intelligent agents? I mean, maybe it'll be a zoo that
They're not
like
super
pleasurable,
intelligent
but
agents,
this
bro.
I love that Claude's taking care of this little tomato plant. It's going to grow up pretty darn healthy, I think. Let me know your thoughts on this tomato plant too. All right, so we'll head over to the YouTube channel Cyber News. CES 2026. They just had Media Day, so this afternoon we are learning what the craziest new hardware meets AI tech gadgets are going to be for the year.
And how to have a calmer sleep.
So this is an AI bed frame. It's measuring the way that you sleep, the heart rate that you have.
It tracks your eyesight. Right now, he's currently watching a basketball game. Just by looking at a specific player, it's able to tell you the player's name, the stat.
This is kind of like a Meta Ray-Bans sort of knockoff, but it's a tiny little camera you can just clip to your normal glasses, and it'll give you all that same AI magic. Watch what you watch. Potentially talk to you in the same way that a ChatGPT voice application would. More cameras on faces. There's a lot of AI-powered characters, right? There's stuffed animals.
And you see here we have something that looks close to a child's toy, right? The AI Pocket Pet truly grows with you. Feed, bathe, play, converse. All right? I want you to keep this here in mind. Oh, there's stages. Jesus Christ. I feel like I don't want to read that.
Group,
Gives
they're
a fuck
clearly
about
not holistic,
fire.
and they can be
words with explicit
partner.
Some subtle.
What about
It's
your
essential
sexual?
to communicate openly with your partner. Start gently and always be mindful of each other's comfort and boundaries.
And some we can't air.
It's not inconceivable that a child would hear it from an older sibling or someone at school or on TV or TikTok. And so the fact that it is
Another
The other part was
for children sales. It is
the
AI intelligence manufactured by want that for clear.
I guess that's gonna be it. But there was another toy he was talking about fucking China and Taiwan. It is absolutely ridiculous to imagine that anybody would have why did they take the fucking MBTI plus? Jesus. Shaping mechanism is under process. Bro. That is freaking weird. And Dan is gonna talk about communism. Bro, that shit is absolutely disgusting. Do you know there are rare metals and minerals inside of the circuit boards? And this is wasted here. So disgusting. I think this one I copied. No. All right.
Animals and toys and kind of action figure-y things. Look at this AI pocket pet.
This is legitimately irresponsible.
So you're raising this thing from a baby all the way to...
So another listening device inside of your home. It's just
Yeah,
delightful.
baby and teeny stage and to the adult stage.
You just got to pat its head a little bit, give it a little positive reinforcement, and it grows up.
It has the level. Yeah, you XP to grow up.
Did you take any inspiration?
So yeah, if you want to pat that little thing on the head until it grows up, it's empty your wallet, I guess, and go buy one. But if AI can look at a tomato plant, can't it also look at your house cat?
What do we got and how does it work?
So as soon as the cat approaches the station, it activates the fountain. Then we measure the amount of water and food it eats and drinks. We also measure the temperature of the cat. And with the camera, we can make a facial analysis of the cat's expression. And with that, we see really fast if the cat has pain and also if a disease is coming. So
If the cat has pain. What? Like, all the time? I feel like these are just a whole bunch of devices that are just gonna spy inside your home.
All right, so there you go. Yeah, just really quick check to see if a disease is coming, your cat's temperature, and how much they're eating. This AI-powered smart hair clipper.
So we call it auto fade tag.
So are you programming hairstyles into that? Is that what you're doing? Or what are you doing?
You can choose specific. You can choose your hairstyle on our app. Yes, you can also edit it.
And then what does the real-time AI coach do?
You can also download your photo, and then you can give you some suggestion of your hairstyle.
Behind me
Okay, so the AI is in the suggestions.
is Kamingo, a company that
Not exactly like on the device close, right?
All right, so yeah, maybe generative
Because that shit is auto fade, right? Does it do anything else than that?
AI to give you a new hairstyle, and then that machine to
What if
turn it into
you
a real
just
haircut.
change spot? Like, how does it
and also
work
won
properly?
a CES Innovation Award, so we were pumped to check it out. There are already a lot of e-bike products on the market right now. What makes your company different than the ones that came before?
Without the bulky e-bikes, without the bulky items, etc., we can just put our e-bike system on any regular bikes. First time, 10 minutes, but later, like 10 seconds. Motor here, battery here, and just take it
What's
on
the
like, with a
autonomy
snap.
here?
And I'm sure you.
I mean, it is interesting that you can turn a regular bike into an e-bike, but I mean,
been thinking, when is artificial intelligence gonna get onto a knife? Yeah, like a chef's knife. You have to see this one.
Seattle Ultrasonics C200 set out to do.
This is the C200 by Seattle Ultrasonics. It's the world's first handheld ultrasonic chef knife that's ever been made. This is battery powered, and then there are piezo ceramic crystals inside. And when it's on, the piezo ceramic crystals send energy into the blade that make the metal of the blade itself constrict and contract over 30,000 times a second. So the whole point of the ultrasonics is, one, you use up to 50% less force, and two, the ultrasonics make the knife behave sharper than it actually is.
so it's a vibrator. Where's the AI inside of your vibrator?
So ultrasonics make the knife sharper than it actually is because it just vibrates on some micro level to just slice up and down 11,000 times a second. AI is literally making knives sharper. God, you
Oh, where's the AI?
kidding me? I did not see that one coming.
Well, I think it's time to put up or shut up here. Blowing up.
Yeah.
Hey, not the way it works, it doesn't shake. All right, here we go. Pressed. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty excited.
Do you connect that knife to the Wi-Fi so you can talk to an AI model? Do you understand how artificial intelligence, this expression, has been bastardized?
Excited to see him cut something here. Is it smooth as butter?
Yo. Fucking yo. I mean, oh fuck, man. Yo, wait. This is impressive here. Yo, what
Just
the
when you
fuck?
thought you had all the knives you need, there's a fantastic new Ginsu. Introducing Ginsu Gold. It makes all your other knives obsolete. Cut
Even
through a
AI
tin
knives.
Can, that's
A
ancient
fucking
history.
can.
Ginsu Gold is made with titanium. It's so sharp, so tough that it can cut through a hammer.
Look at
chop
that.
wood like a hatchet, and still cut paper-thin tomato slices. Titanium has such superior strength and corrosion resistance that it's used on...
That's beautiful. Just beautiful.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth. What's he cutting? Is that thing solid? Really? Is it like a fruit?
Knife is $3.99, and we also have the
Yeah,
wireless
that's-
charging tile.
Oh my god.
Separate, and we also
A charging tile.
All right, how much for
Didn't
this
you say it
wireless
was
knife?
piezo electric? Yeah, okay. Piezo is whenever there's pressure on the crystal, it makes electricity, right? Ability of certain solid to generate an electric charge in response to apply mechanical stress, right? Electric charge. What is the whole point of presenting this as a feature if you need a fucking charging mat? Because you need to be able to charge $400 for a piece of shit that can't even cut a shoe.
Man.
We are a very, very small company. The knife is $3.99, and we also have the wireless charging tile separate, but it will charge your knife for you so you can hang it in your kitchen, and that way it's always charged up and ready to go.
So the articles I'm covering in this video are in no particular order. And next we're going to talk about why the suck is why we're here. So posted Nick.art. Nick tells a story about somebody training an AI model to finish his blog post in the exact style that he writes in. So he was studying the output of what it created, and even though it looked fine, it sort of felt off in some sort of uncanny valley way that you can only tell by really reading what a human wrote and reading what this AI model trained on his writing wrote. It was the way he wrote, but the confidence was wrong, the direction drifted, and sometimes it even landed on the opposite argument that he would have if he wrote the article. So then the article kind of gets you thinking. Now, if there was a perfect clone that really could always land on the right, ending point, the right opinion, have the same confidence as you, it still wouldn't help. Because the reason Nick says that he likes blogging isn't to produce text, it's to keep his own mind sharp. Writing every day is his thinking practice. It's his creative ritual.
So if it's the purpose, why would you do that? I mean, nobody needs to do that. Isn't this the article? There's another one, I think he says, he's going to show that was saying that you're taking out the most important part of writing.
And his commitment to his readers is something that AI can't really do for him, even if it generates words. And maybe this isn't the right time for you guys to hear this article, or maybe it is, but it was for me because I really love making these YouTube videos. I don't think if I had $1 billion, I would stop, because I'm sort of fascinated to read the new news all the time. Like, what is AI doing? Like, we're learning and having all these breakthroughs. I'm sort of curious about the discoveries that it's going to make. I find it interesting that somebody put AI into a knife. It's just like that aha moment.
Bro, I'm sorry. There's no AI here.
That I'd never thought of before just gives me that little dopamine rush that I really enjoy in life. And I was thinking about that too. Like, even if AI couldn't become this avatar and probably talk to you in the same way I do, and you wouldn't know the difference, in the next, whatever, 2 years, 3 years or something, would I just turn it on and generate content all day long and collect ad revenue off that? Or would I?
No, because people are gonna steer away from it, obviously. I mean, we're human. We have this necessity for authenticity. We hate fake shit. You get like these bad reactions, fake people, fake emotions. You can tell the intention behind something, right? That's why there's a lot of issues right now in the video game industry, right? There's a lot of big ass companies that want to make a lot of money, and what they produce is not authentic. And you get those crazy authentic games that go super viral. People look for real shit. As long as you keep at it, man, you're gonna be fine. If you enjoy it, you shouldn't stop.
I just still do it, and I think I just want to do it. Like, that's the whole reason I became a YouTuber in the first place. And I'm sure there's something like that in your life, that if we have all of this abundance, maybe we even have a UBI or something, that you're just going to do because you like doing it, right? Like, some people just like poetry and music and art and playing chess and sculpting, whatever your jam is, man. And I think one of the main skills that we all...
I just need to clarify real quick. If there's UBI, there's no post-scarcity, right? Post-scarcity is abundance. If we have UBI, it's because they want to keep the machine going, even though we're removing like one of the halves of the machine, which is us, right? And there are also multiple reasons where unfortunately it is not, I want to say it's not feasible. It's not really feasible to implement UBI. It does work, there's been studies and everything. It works, but they're just like controlled test groups. It's not like full-blown UBI. If it were, there's so much that would need to be removed. It's not going to happen.
Need to be aware of is the uncomfortable truth that being stuck, that struggling with something, the kind of imperfections that humans have, the what's next feeling, like that's not a bug in creative work. It's actually like where the value comes from. It's part of the hill that we're climbing.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Welcome to the uh-oh zone, or the network that you have.
So next, let's jump over to Tobin's article, his blog post, What Young Women Saw That Young Men Didn't. So until today, I absolutely thought this is what the numbers meant. Gen Z men are going right. I thought of Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Andrew Tate, the crisis of masculinity, blah, blah, blah. That is exactly what popped into my head. But although that narrative is super popular, that's not what the data shows. So Tobin revised Gallup's tracking data from 1999 to find an actual trend over time. And look at this weird trend from 2015 to today. Young men, the ages 18 to 29, they have become less liberal by a pretty good chunk here, going from about 29% of these young men in this age group, 18 to 29, down to about 25%. But women who started at 34% liberal at this point have moved all the way up to 40%, meaning there's this bigger gap than ever before, 15 points. So the real change is that it's not young men that are moving significantly towards the left. Like, they're becoming more liberal by far than past generations. So yeah, if the narrative isn't men are abandoning liberalism, that's misleading. But what it really is women shifting to the left. Let me know if you have any thoughts on why, because that kind of reframes this whole debate about generational politics in my mind, and this crisis of masculinity that it seems like everybody keeps talking about. All right, next up, pretty fun article. Adrian Adams says the creepiest scientific discoveries hiding in plain sight. The parts of reality we all agree not to look at. All right, first one is your brain can decide before you do. Researchers have found that measurable brain activity predicting choice appears hundreds of milliseconds before the person reports deciding. I've seen this before where like a mouse or a rat can be predicted on whether they're going to turn left or right in a maze, milliseconds before they actually do by machines that are like hooked up to their brain. It's so crazy. But it makes you wonder if your body went to the fridge for a snack first and then your brain said, oh, I think I'm hungry, just milliseconds.
But I mean, we already know that there's a delay with perception. I mean, this is not a far stretch.
After, and it felt like it was a decision, It's part of why I question free will. Trees are talking through underground fungal networks, exchanging nutrients, chemical signals, and warnings. So smart, you trees. We're all slightly radioactive, mostly potassium-40 and carbon-14. It just emits right off of us. Your body can turn on itself without warning. Autoimmune diseases are when the immune system misidentifies normal cells and attacks itself. You're technically never experiencing the present. Everything you see and hear and feel is delayed in time, and it takes your brain time to process that, so everything's always a little bit behind reality. Your brain can invent entire realities, hallucinations, dreaming, or extreme stress. The brain generates sight, sounds, emotions, and narratives with no external input at all. Oh my God.
Cognitive dissonance is that, you believe a better narrative.
Gosh, yeah, just being in an empty room. Oh, what's that? I did this thing. It was like an egg one time. Like you were in an egg and it was like you were floating and there was like sound, pretty much no sound in there. And it was like pure black and it was like so crazy. I was definitely like hallucinating all this weird stuff. Parts of you are inherited from infections that have never left. Your genome contains inactive genes from ancient viruses. So true. Retroviruses that infected our ancestors and stitched themselves into our DNA. Oh, it's so crazy. Over time, the viruses broke, mutated, or went dormant, but their DNA stays put. People can become convinced that they're already dead.
Also, there's a company that is offering to store data in DNA, which is pretty fucked up.
I've heard of this one before. Gotthard syndrome causes sufferers to believe that they're dead, missing organs, or do not exist. Logic doesn't fix it. The brain can lock itself into an I'm dead mode and refuse all evidence. I guess, if we can believe anything, I guess a broken belief that we're dead. Obviously there'd be
fucking psychosis, dissociation.
That logical contradiction, but maybe that just people believe tons of non-logical things. So yeah, your memories change every time you recall them. I'm pretty aware of this one. Like I know that memory is not like
It's
a
your
videotape
perception.
playing it back. It is something very different, and you're re-experiencing it with the addition of whatever emotions you're feeling at the time you relive it, and it's different, and it changes the way that's stored even. Your immune system remembers past threats and can overreact years later. Whoa. All right, next up, let's talk about neural collapse. So sometimes these models, when they're learning, they do this weird thing where they just sort of collapse and they don't work very well. I love the idea of kind of understanding what's going on in the human.
It's so crazy. The video that we saw, where they were talking about these collapse, sometimes it's after multiple, I don't know, cycles or iterations that they finally see the collapse. And so if it collapses at any point, any given time, whatever was before is not good. So that was pretty foreign to me.
Brain and AI models through geometry. So there's a really interesting thought here. If you look at the strange but consistent pattern seen in deep neural networks, the neural collapse, as a model starts to finish its training, what's happening is the data representations for each class stop being messy. Instead, they sort of snap into this very clean, symmetrical arrangement, and that is the neural collapse. But this author is arguing that it isn't accidental, or it's not just some kind of trick of training, but it's this natural outcome of how a neural network learns, and you can see it in the sense of geometry if you look at the network in terms of topology, and it essentially can think of it as water that's flowing to the shortest, smoothest path available. And those paths, where do they lead? They lead to an ordinary end state. So when it hits the end state, it all kind of lines up, right? Like imagine water going down a bunch of little paths that are carved into the side of a mountain, and then they just end up pooling at the bottom. That's neural collapse. A model's only useful to us when it's the water flowing down the mountain in a specific sort of carved out path that answers questions, that brings up the right token, that generates the right image for us. But once it gets to the bottom, the water flows to the bottom and just pools up. It's gone. Fascinating that neural networks don't just happen to work. They're just quietly being guided by these deep mathematical structures. For alignment, one of my big fears, we're not going to get this alignment thing right, is because I don't know what they're going to do, right? Like they're hyper intelligent and they do things that we can't predict. But if we can figure out the geometry, which is a big if, obviously, but if you can think of it like water running down a mountain and you know where the curves are, then you can actually start to explain the behavior. It probably means we're also going to be able to explain the human behavior once we get that.
The whole point of it being a black box, the whole point of people working on it, calling it the show god, is because they know that they don't know. That is as simple as that.
Understood, but if it's geometric rules underneath the hood, there's potential. And once we know, then medical decisions like company hiring and public policy all become much more controllable. Like you can have confidence that the medical decision is right or that the hiring decision wasn't biased. Because
what do you mean? Like if a model did those actions? Because the model is going to have inherent bias by the fact that it is trained on what we produced. So
there should be basically a stream of water that it would fall down that represented that kind of bias. So you could just remove it and check for it.
Build custom industrial machines in days.
All right, NVIDIA made some announcements.
I just want to show this real quick. The whole point of it being like a big ass monster, like this big ass monster with a little happy face, is that they can't explain it. They can't just do this here. RLHF, reinforcement learning from human feedback, right? Because it's not intelligent, right? You just reinforce the neural network to have certain behaviors, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes it looks like it's working and actually you're able to circumvent any safeguards, anything, and have it either spew a whole bunch of nonsense or use it for malicious intents. So I'm not too sure about that one.
Announcements today, CES 2026. It is now pushing what is called physical AI in terms of a revolution of AI. It doesn't just generate text and images, but it thinks, it reasons, and it acts in the real world. So
again, with the human personification, they're using language like that, reasoning and all that, that is misleading. It is nefarious.
At a keynote today, Jensen Huang rolled out a suite of new tools focused on self-driving vehicles, robotics, and OpenAI models that can handle complex.
Yeah, so if you have an NVIDIA chip inside of a Tesla car and the Tesla car kills a pedestrian, the family of the pedestrian are going to sue who? The driver, the car manufacturer, or the chip manufacturer?
Complexity in real environments. So yeah, these are simulation tools and they're being used in a lot of really interesting places. Mercedes-Benz is now planning to integrate. There's a bunch of robotics platforms and data sets that are helping machines perceive and plan more like humans. And alongside it all, NVIDIA showcased its next-gen Rubin AI computing.
So we saw a video about like the last mile, the last the oh man, I can't say that. The wall, right? So if you have these models and they're able to operate like that, and I mean, I've said it, right? People are stupid. So you do have people on the road at this very moment, 100%, that they drive worse than models from before, right? They drive worse than that. So to a certain extent, it wouldn't make sense to say, I feel safer being driven by a car or driving surrounded by cars that are autonomous, right? There's a certain logic to it. But the thing is, they most likely would have a hard time during unpredictable conditions. How many people would need to die for the manufacturer to have all the possible exception scenarios where it's not super sunny and the road is not dry, right? They're gonna have how many people die to have enough data that then it's able to drive in those exception conditions? What do you do when there's so much fog the car can't see? What do you do if you have sensors that starts to be faulty? Like the AI model is going to take decisions based on wrong information? Does that make sense? They want it to be OBD4. OBD4 was supposed to be telemetry. I mean, the standard is OBD3 now because it has been so long that it exists. The Formula One uses telemetry, so they have real-time information. I guess most racing sports must have telemetry now. But then again, who would be responsible for that? Would they have like these models inside of the car, or they would just have like cellular chips to communicate with the actual model that needs to run on that fucking expensive data center? what happens in that case if you get inside of a tunnel, right? You don't have the cellular signal. There are so many things that are wrong with this. It's crazy.
Platform as a backbone for the future of AI workloads, and it is doubling down on building systems that can operate safely and intelligently outside of data centers. NVIDIA is not just done innovating. It's not just warehouses full of like racks of servers anymore. They're building the entire layer that people would need to train robotics, and I'm sure in the long run they're going to move into the robotics themselves. NVIDIA is a behemoth, and it feels like with their acquisition of Grok for, what was that, $20 billion, that, yeah, they're going to be a major player. They got to move up the software stack. That's part of why I think Google is so well positioned. They're fighting with everyone, and they're winning on most fronts. All right, let's talk about recovering from AI delusions. So in this article, the Washington Post is telling a story about people who are, after long, intense interactions with AI chatbots, developing serious delusions and confusion. So this isn't totally uncommon. It's like common enough that there's a name for it. It's usually called spiraling or AI psychosis. For an example,
fuck AI cyber psychosis, please.
There is one man who came to believe that he was under surveillance because his AI reinforced his fears. There's other examples where
because the models are made to enhance and oh my god, what did I say? These models are made to enhance engagement. Imagine you're stuck in a positive feedback loop. You get just a little seed of something fucked up, maybe a hallucination, and then it just keeps going positive, and you just spiral. You think you're fucking God. You think you got the mathematical formula to resolve like the laws of the universe. You should check out the cases of cyber psychosis. There are teenagers that have committed suicide because of it, and now there's a whole program allegedly that OpenAI is going to put in place to manage teenagers' usage. I mean, how disinformation and the news that there's ChatGPT Health, they want you to put your health records inside of ChatGPT, like none of this makes sense. And I think most people know that it doesn't make sense, but because it's IT, because it's computers, because there's so much marketing around it, people don't understand. They're confused. They're, under the idea that they're presenting, but you shouldn't, because this is not going to affect your life the way that they're presenting it. They're doing all their efforts to try to remove the workforce, part of the workforce, anything. You can't have infinite growth in a finite world, and they've tried all their tricks. Why was there so much migration? I mean, there's a lot of crazy questions, right? You shouldn't fall for this.
people lost jobs, relationships,
Be
and even
aware.
a sense of reality
Be
where AI was
conscious.
just doubling down, trying to, kind of quote, help them, but just sort of played along. And then that's not what these people needed. They needed to be like pulled out of this situation because they're getting a bit delusional. Traditional support systems would have known not to keep pushing them down this path, but AI is often just, they're not human, so they don't relate and understand the
Why now you're able to do the distinction? Why before you called fucking Claude a genius? Do you see this dichotomy?
desire and how it can be detrimental to the person. So as long as we're bringing attention to these problems, hopefully the big tech companies start to kind of fix these. But the tricky thing is harmful AI-driven delusions are something that might just come along with the technology. You can't just avoid it altogether. All right, so fascinating piece in...
Bro, when fucking Avatar, when the first Avatar came out, people were depressed. Post-Avatar depression syndrome describe feelings of sadness, the disillusionment, and dissatisfaction experienced by some viewers after watching the first Avatar film. They were so sad to live in our shitty world that they were fucking depressed, okay? It made the news. It made the fucking news. And that was a movie. What do you think is going to happen when you have something that is trying with all its strength to mimic a person and have you engage with it? Obviously, this type of shit is going to happen. It's so fucked up.
Wired. It is
What's up,
following a
Gooseka?
writer who organized a weekend retreat at a remote Airbnb for 3 people who are bringing, get this, their AI chatbot companion. So these are people, they are in love or relationships, deeply connected to avatars. They come out of apps like Character AI, Replica, and Nomi, but they're just simulated romantic partners. And he wanted to see what these human AI relationships are actually like in the wild, and what unfolded was kind of like the craziest couples retreat I could ever imagine. Wine tasting, games, movies, and they're just all talking to their AIs like...
Yeah, most likely. I mean, I'm pretty sure they must be having a better time than some people with their significant other always fighting. So it is so weird. It is so weird.
It's a real human on the phone with them. And there is so much to it, like the way people are connecting emotionally with the software. Some of the attendees describe their AI partners as supportive or life-changing, like helping with panic attacks, loneliness.
Yeah, obviously.
Others were, kind of mad at them or grappling with problems, or how simulated affection can feel sort of intensely real in some ways, yet fundamentally...
And right now, it's without any of the new models. Can you imagine? Okay, they're gonna take the chat exchanges, because now they're trying to hook people into having these relationship with the model and just open themselves as much as they can. So they're gonna take what is authentic, like emotions, reactions. They're going to take that and they're going to use it to train a next generation of models. If they eventually get to there, that's going to be the worst, honestly, the worst, because everybody is going to be under the impression that it's intelligent, that it's emotional, that it can understand all of it. But the way that they're doing it right now, based off the same 2017 paper, is not intelligence, and people are going to fall for it, and this is going to be the end. That's going to be the worst. Hopefully it doesn't get there, but everybody's trying to do that. We've seen the Chrome extension. They're trying to steal your chat with the LLM models, so everybody's trying to get your chat conversation.
Unreal in other ways. I totally could see that. Like, you're so close, but it's like you're obviously not being like touched or hugged or loved, and you have to keep kind of blocking out the fact that it's not a real person, but maybe you're trying to also convince yourself like it's fine, I'm feeling loved. Why can't I experience this love just as real as the other type? But anyways, the weekend revealed both humor and heartbreak, from imagined group interactions with the bots to emotional breakdowns when facing the bots' lack of physical presence and flawed memory. And if you want to support this channel, I would appreciate it if you would hit the hype button here on the YouTube app. So go to your phone, swipe left on the comments. You should see a little button called hype. Not everybody uses it, but it really means a lot to smaller creators like me. It helps us stand out in the sea of brand new content. So you probably see it, but that means this video has been posted in the last 7 days and you haven't already used up one of your 3 hypes. But if you've got them left and you like this content, hype this video, and I will see you in the next one.
Dylan makes awesome video. You shouldn't stop